Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well. Hey, Gwen Broke Cowgirl. Happy Friday. Hey there, Holman's Homestead. Good to see you guys. Happy Friday. Hey, Rebecca Touched by Yarn. Hope everyone's doing well. Whew. You ever have one of those days when you're on fire? For me, they're not every day. But got some good stuff done today. But I was talking to Hey about 6 acres. Good to see y'all. Um, on fire today, which means I'll probably be useless the rest of the weekend. Oh, it's terrible. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. This is what happens when I sit down. I was on fire today. And I was texting. I don't blame you, Gwen. That's a lot to worry about. Hey Heather, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Good to see you. So we've been trying to get a bunch of stuff done. And it's not even the winter prep, so to speak. It's sort of like the transition to cooler weather, and stuff like that. And so it's me. I'm the problem. I've learned I am the problem. Ryan calls me the crammer. If Mountain Grandma comes in, we'll have to tell her, but he's so right. I cram stuff in places and then I have to go back and fix it. So, but I did get a small barn cleaned out, a storage barn. Got a bunch of stuff done and sat down and ate. And see, oh my gosh, I don't feel so bad. I don't mean to be rude. This is what happens when I sit down. Um, but yeah, it was great to get a bunch of things done and all that jazz. And I've rewarded myself by sitting down and knitting a few rows, so that was nice. But we are working on trying to get different things done, one of which is exciting for us anyway. So you know how when you work cows, you have a chute, and you work sheep even, they have corrals and they have these things that press together to hold them still while you work on them, and some of them have tables to flip them, all that stuff. Well, it's not like we're buying one of them for the pigs. And we previously have had to flip the pigs, which is standard practice for when you're working on pigs. You flip them and then you do their hooves, you do their tusks, you do injections, all that kind of stuff. Well, injections we don't have to do that way, but I was sorry, that injection part was wrong. You see that when they're doing cows. Yeah, so they've got the turntables. She said they call the turntables chutes, but they've got all this equipment, right? That stuff is pricey. And I've really never seen one that was even remotely affordable for a pig. So, anywho, I'm going to see if I can get this up here. Oh, I've got to stop this yawning bit. I'm so sorry. Let's see. So, anyway, Ryan, I'll give you guys a sneak peek because you're always here. Hey, Blue, good to see you. Okay, so, all right. Yes, yes. So, 2 years ago, this started, believe it or not, and then it just kept falling to the wayside because there was no time or whatever, or we forgot, all that stuff. So, as we're getting older, flipping pigs is getting a little more challenging. Plus, we don't have to flip them often, so they're not exactly happy about it when we do it. So, like, Norman's never been flipped. So, Gran has never been flipped because we never had to do his hooves. So, we saw somebody on Instagram who posted what they use to work their pigs, because they have something like 60 pigs because they raise for meat, all that stuff, and they breed. Well, I reached out to them and I was talking to them, and then I found out they were selling plans for it. Well, the plans were several $1,000s. Not happening. So keep in mind, this was before Ryan bought the forklift tractor that we have. So he was going to build one based on what he saw for us. And he later saw one that a woman had where she used a forklift to lift the crate. So that's what we have right now. I'm trying to hold it still. So it has an entry and exit. It's secured by chains in the front. They're locking chains. The bottom part, which is on the sawhorses, is now reinforced and covered in pipe insulation that is tie strapped on for cushioning. And then he also put at the top where it'll hold the forks so it doesn't slide back and forth. So basically, what they're going to do is we're going to get them in it, lift it up with the forks, and be able to work on their hooves and the boys' tusks. So, yes, for plans, Blue. Totally for plans. Yep. You could buy the plans, or you could buy the plans with the kit, if that makes sense, with all the stuff to build it. So he welded that all together. I think the hard part was we've never seen like a pig chute that they work pigs in. So I don't even know if places would have plans, but I would have to look. But he made it just from looking at it. He's got a couple more things to do on it, and then we're going to try. Now, Eleanor will not be going through it this year because she still has 2 full teats from the babies. And we don't want to put pressure on her. However, we're going to put Fiona, Grant, and Norman through it. I'm going to try to get a video when we do it. It's going to be a while. Don't be waiting with bated breath, because we've got to test it and that kind of thing. But essentially, they're going to walk into it. We're going to lock them in, make sure their legs are clear, and when you lift it up, their legs will be dangling so you can work on their hooves. Then that helps with the tusk part. That's still going to be hard. We know that. So I'm ordering the Geely wire now for that, to try and do tusks as well, because the tusks are a safety issue. We've worked around it for many years, but we figured if we could do it one time, see how it goes, and we'll see what happens. When I was at the fair, I seen them using plywood besides the pig's head so they can't see. Yep. That's a good idea too. That's a good idea, Rebecca. So that's what that's for. We've been working on it. He got busy and some other stuff happened and it fell by the wayside. Now we're back at it again, and he got it. He's been working on it this week. Some of it we needed to get some material too, but it's all stuff we didn't buy. It's all scrap metal. It's all welded together. And it's pretty strong metal too. So we're very excited about that. But again, we got to test it and all that stuff. See how it goes. So I think we're getting closer. So that's the cool part. We're getting a lot closer. I did post it on Instagram, and I know Juana had asked me what it was. I didn't really get into what it was on Instagram, and I was worried that somebody might be telling me that I copied their idea, when actually it's because I saw 2 reels from 2 different people, and we copied it. So, because I think the one patented their design. But again, ours is nothing like theirs. I mean, it's a crate like theirs, but it's not where they have the motor and all that stuff. But I was a little, I know they watch my stories and I didn't want them to be like, So, you know how sometimes people can get out of control. So, anywho, so tell me, have you guys been stocking your pantries and your freezers, either using store stuff or garden stuff? Because I know not everybody has gardens or gardens that made it through the summer, or from gifts from people. I know Gwen's been busy canning Harlequin jam, which sounds delightful. I saw the video. But yeah, we're excited. Everything is full. Like we still have the squash and Brussels sprouts in the garden and broccoli, and the freezers are full. So I'm running out of room, and I'm never running out of room. So I'm pretty excited about it. Before I forget, we don't have Lisa Colovi tonight. So I'm sure you noticed that, but she is out and about having a good time. And I told her, don't worry about it. So Holman's Home said, yep, we're pretty stocked up. I bet you are. I bet you are. Carolyn's been canning like crazy. That's awesome. We have the regular tractor, and then we have a forklift tractor. And the forklift tractor is what we will lift with, because their weight is well under the weight for the forklift tractor, or the capacity that it can lift. But yeah, we really had a change of plan when he bought the forklift tractor, which is the one that we use for the pellets, unloading pallets of pellets, which is really cool. Doing it a bit at a time, a day at a time, moving freezer to shelf, or combining and condensing room for the holidays. Oh, kudos to you. You are a smart lady doing it ahead of time. I hear Christmas and I'm like, please, no. Hey, Garden State so-and-so. Good to see you, Robin. That's awesome. Juana and Nick are well stocked, definitely not to the degree of others, but we did meet our goals for the year. That's all that matters. And you don't need to be stocked to the degree of anybody but what you want. I mean, that's you guys set your goals for yourself, and that's what's important. Gwen says my pantry pretty much stays stocked. My canning pantry is all pretty much full. Good deal. Yeah. Canning is great, but man, it takes up so much room. And the fact that you can't stack more than 2 jars or 2 cases on each other is a bit much. It annoys me. But I will say this year we got a lot of herbs. We got a lot of frozen vegetables, blanched and frozen. I've also been making a lot of meals or side dishes, if that makes sense. So I've been making, instead of just putting squash and zucchini away, because blanching and freezing it and putting it away, because that's how we prefer it. I've been making squash casseroles. I've made mac and cheese. I've made a bunch of things like that where you can take it out of the freezer and you can heat it up. So that's been really good. What was the other thing? Like I said earlier, herbs, a lot of herbs. I cut my parsley. Oh gosh, way back in 3 weeks ago, and unbelievable. I can't believe it grew back, because we're in the 40s at night. We're at 42, 43. So I'm going to get another cut out of it and some oregano as well, which will be really nice. I have the cayenne pepper I brought in the house, along with the rosemary I brought in the house. They're under the grow lamp, and the peppers are just everywhere on this plant. better than in the greenhouse, which is crazy to me. Um, so we'll see how that goes. And then, yeah, I basically have to freeze dry more herbs. Yep, I do too. Especially when I have the best opportunity to grab very cheap veg the week of so I can top up the pantry. To getting done beforehand means more than just planning for a day or two. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we do it for a bunch of reasons. Obviously, the stocking up, but I will say this, we also one of the other main reasons we stock up, because the other ones are obvious, right? We want our homegrown, we want all that stuff. We want food on hand. Um, it's really nice living in a rural area not to have to spend money on the local grocery store that is wicked expensive. Even the grocery store in the next town over, which is 20 minutes away, is a lot cheaper than our grocery store. I actually like them better, but they're like a locally owned. The one in town is a franchise, but it's locally owned. So, but we, like I said, we bought them 40 pounds of onions from the Shriners, which are from Georgia. And it's just nice to have onions for over a year. And when you get low on them, you'll be like, I can't believe we went through all them, but you don't have to run and get stuff, which is nice. Even though it's in town, it could cost me a ton of money just to buy it there. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, and I mean, I think the world gets crazier by the day. Let's just call it that for now. And with last week's events and some of the other events that went on, it does make you wonder. And I'm not trying to be a fear monger or anything like that, but I think it's time to have your house in order, time to have your stuff on hand. Um, because I think things are changing. I mean, when you look at prices, I was telling Gwen today, when we first moved here, we used to get an 8 cubic foot bag of pine shavings for the chickens for between $5 and $6. It was like the best deal. Now we don't go to Tractor Supply often. We go to other places like Baumgar's, Fleet Farm, and stuff like that. But once in a while, I would take a run up there and I'd go to Tractor Supply and I'd buy a bunch of bags and I'd keep them here because they were the cheapest one. So it was if I was there, because everything's an hour away, right? Well, today I went locally because I had cleaned the chicken coop and I had an open bag that I used for a brooder, but it was close to a full bag. And our coop takes 2 of those bags. And that's with a decent layer, but not a thick or a real thin layer. 1167 for an 8 cubic foot bag of pine shavings. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I bought it because I was, already at the line and I needed it. But yeah. So I guess for the pigs, if we have a bad winter, I'm going to need to look for straw. Now I see everybody's like, oh gosh, yikes. Yeah. Now, mind you, that's our local prices at 1167. I could get them for between 8 and 9 if I drove, to the big cities to get it, right? Sup, what's up, East River? Spartman's in the house. So yeah, I mean it's crazy. And I think even Tractor Supply is up to $8 now for by us from what it was in 2020. So that's crazy. I am just forever grateful that the pig feed, we found the local feed mill that we get it from, because I remember when we first had pigs in 2021, Oh my gosh, I'm laughing at Spartman's comment. I will just leave it at that. You would think they would, Spartman. You would think they would. Hey Barb, good to see you. Pine shavings. I was saying that I used to be able to get them from Tractor Supply for between $5 and $6. The same bag is like $8 or between 8 and 9 at Tractor Supply here. But I went in town because I'd already cleaned the chicken coop and I was short a bag. I thought I had two. And I went into town and it was 11.67 for the same size bag. Wow. Yeah, seven at Tractor Supply. That is crazy. It used to be so cheap. But anyway, the pig feed, we had pig feed for ours, and it was in 2021 when we had the feeder pigs, which were bred with commercial and heritage breeds, so they were big pigs. They ate a lot. The bag of feed was $14 for a 50 pound. It was up to 19 or $20 for the same thing in a 50-pound bag. Then when we found our feed mill, which was a godsend, we're getting 80 pounds of feed for $19 with a cash discount. So that's our bottom line price is $19 for an 80-pound bag. And this stuff is even better for the pigs because of the fact that, like I've said in the past, the owner of the feed mill worked with the mineral company, and we worked with the Cooney Cooney Pig Association mineral guidelines. So how crazy is that? And the beauty of it is when we used to buy it from Runnings, we used to have to buy a pallet at a time to get a discount, and then we'd have to worry about storing a pallet at a time. The good news is I no longer have to get a pallet. We get 6 pounds, which is what, 480 pounds at a time, and then we're done. Let's see what guys are saying. They always harp here, buy local. That's why we drive an hour each way for feed. We have 2 local feed stores, and I can save $3 to $5 a bag of feed for goats and chickens. Yep. I don't blame you. I'm about buying local, don't get me wrong. But if I can get it cheaper, and I don't have a problem with that. I like it for the backup. Like there's a feed store in town. It's not a feed store. It's a Napa that has feed. But he's pretty pricey. I like the guy. He's pretty pricey. But, if I need something, I'll go to him, but it's like the shavings. I needed it. Otherwise, I would have waited. But I agree. Love that whole buy local story they try to use here. Most times it's either double the price or you still have to order it. Yep. That gets really frustrating too. And we get Amazon Prime now. Now I know we've all had Prime forever, or it existed forever, and we've always had it, right? But we never had Prime delivery, if that makes sense. We had UPS or the post office or FedEx deliver, and we never had a say in that. And so, it used to be it could take a week to get to us for Prime. And since it was free, we never worried about it. But now that we have Prime delivery, meaning Amazon themselves are delivering, we get things a lot quicker. So there's a lot of times that I'll order something from Fleet Farm in Rapid or Runnings or whatever. What I used to do is I used to order it and then pick it all up. And I really didn't have to go in the store. I used to be able to drive to the curb, pick it up. But it was all set and paid for. I didn't have to go shopping or anything, which is nice. Did Amazon build a setup in Rapid like they have in Sioux Falls? I think it's in Box Elder. I don't know if it's the same as Sioux Falls, but I'm going to assume it is. because now we have the Prime delivery trucks, which makes me crazy because I got to tell you this, Prime shows up here at like 8:30 at night sometimes. And I'm like, I don't need you coming to my house at 8:30 at night. It's just ridiculous. Somebody pulls in the driveway at 8:30. You're like, what is going on? Let's see here. But yeah, a lot of the times, I know Harvey's now has feed too, Harvey's in Hot Springs, and they've got, whether it's corn free or soy free and all that, which is not something we do. That's fine. I know people like organic feed. If we fed organic feed, I would love it. However, I could have 6 bags of feed um, for the for the price of that one bag of organic. That's why I don't do it. It's just too much money. Oh, no worries, Gwen. Let's see. I have to go 45 miles to get feed because our local feed stores don't have what I need. Flat don't have anything for dairy goats and the chicken feed is junk. Yep. The one used to have a mill at it, and Grandpa raised enough corn. He would take his own corn to have milled for chop for the pigs and cattle and chickens. They would add however much of what he wanted. That's awesome. Added to it. Prime delivers late here too. I think they're on their last stop for the night. Yeah, it's crazy. You could be like the meme of the cat saying, "I bet it's a weed snorter." Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, it's just I like quality feed, but I don't feel the need to go all organic. But I also don't have food allergies or anything like that, whereas I know some people feed corn-free, soy-free because they have allergies to that stuff, and that's why they do it. I just don't. I want good nutrition, and I feel like we have that with what we're getting. I can tell you the pig feed, the pigs have never looked better on this newer pig feed. So that's been cool. Barb, you got your pantry all stocked from the garden, your freezers? That's what we were talking about earlier. But yeah, I've got to get some hay soon and all that jazz. Good deal, Barb. Good deal. Yeah, I'm really excited. We planted, I think, double or triple the Brussels sprouts. I can't remember. It was at least double. And they're still out there and they look amazing. And I can't wait. Can't wait. Around here, pretty much all of the local elevators consolidated into one large co-op. That means they cover everything for about a 40 to 50-mile radius of Watertown. Of course, the feed mill is only in Watertown and they charge by the mile. That's in and out. Eesh. Yikes. Yeah. I think they did something similar. I don't know the details, so I'm going to say I don't know. Heather's getting hay tomorrow. Excuse me. Barb's Country Home, tomato sauce, cowboy candy, and pickles. Hey, Drops. Drops is still canning pickles, but still doing okra and tomatoes. Nice. I am looking forward to those Brussels sprouts, and the butternut squash are getting so close. So close. I'm actually at the point where I'm getting annoyed because I want to take the hail netting down and I can't because even though we probably won't get hail this time of year, the minute I take the hail netting down, you know what's going to happen. So, freezer full of blanched squash and bell peppers. Oh, that's awesome, Barb. That's awesome. Spartman said, so a delivery for me would amount to basically 50 miles. Eek. Eek, eek, eek. Heather at Milk and Honey Heritage Farm is still working apples. She's got plums, pears in the freezer and freeze dried. And Robin at Garden State So and So has apples on order to can her applesauce that she loves. Good job, ladies. Good job, everybody, getting those freezers full. Holman's Homestead, you do not need to explain a thing, Holman's Homestead. But what they were saying was they got to go because he takes care of mom and dad is deaf and mom is getting blind because her retinas are thinning. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed weekend. Hugs to mom and dad as well. Don't you worry about a thing. Heather's getting a new fridge. Cool. Sparkman said, I'm not even going to repeat what Sparkman said, but I get what you're saying. Barb says, you're welcome, Holmans. Barb says, started a whole new set of 8 cucumber plants I'm growing for my chickens. I get them oversized and the chickens love them. That'll be fun. Tomorrow is cleaning and emptying and organizing and all the things for Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm just sitting here looking at the butternut going, I look at it every day and I'm like, could we turn a little quicker? Because I'm tired of watering, y'all. And then the acorn decided to come on late to the party, beginning of September. Yeah, I don't think I'll be growing them again. So looks like I'll be sending seeds to some of my friends out there in YouTube land so they can grow them. But yeah, it's weird. So as we opened up the garden gate today for the zucchini and the yellow squash, and the chickens are loving them. I do have patience, Barb, when it comes to other things. I'm just kind of over the garden. I got my food. I'm done. You know me. I'm not a gardening lover. I want them to be done so I can bring them in the house. A week later, I'm going to be making soup, making blues. She calls it roasted pumpkin soup, but I'm going to be making blues roasted butternut with honey and some chili pepper flake soup to put in my freezer. No, I am not joining Fall Fest, Heather. Thank you for asking, though. Can't even get a video out these days, let alone join a collab. So let's see. Sparkman said, I did manage to get a quote for a ton bag of layer feed from the mill. If you pick it up, you can get it for around $3.70. Yes. There's also a place in Rapid, and I know that's too far for you, but that's exactly what a friend of mine up in Nisland did. She went to Rapid City, bought a ton of feed, and got it really super cheap at the time. That was like 3 years ago. I'm thinking of doing the same. I would just have to get the food grade containers to put it in. This week, Blue is stock taking everything and organizing and tidying spaces. Today is the bathroom. It's where we keep all of the cleaning stuff as well. Good deal. Robin says, I have to get more bone broth on the shelf too. Awesome. I need to do tallow. I need to render suet into tallow. I need to render lard. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to render lard really bad. I do love it, Blue. I do love that soup so much. And I love the hint of the chili pepper flakes. I think that was in your recipe. It's been so long since I made it, but yeah. About 6 acres, I will send you the link on Instagram after this live because Blue has a video on it. It is amazing. It's butternut squash, but she is in the UK, and so they call it pumpkin. But you could do pumpkin or you could do butternut squash. I just love butternut squash. Barb says I gave up on videos. You shouldn't give up, Barb. You shouldn't give up. But I get it. Drops is starting his indoor garden next month. That's awesome. That's awesome. Right now, my indoor garden consists of the cayenne pepper and the rosemary, and I think that's enough for me. Gwen said, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Gwen said, while it's on my brain, please say a prayer for Gary's cousin. He was cleaning his bathroom and mixed cleaning products. Not sure what, but seared his throat and lungs bad. They said if he had to wait 2 more hours to go to the ER, he wouldn't be here. Oh my gosh. Prayers for his cousin. Oh gosh, I hope he didn't mix bleach and something. Oh, I'm so sorry. Gosh, sending him all the prayers. Barb did a video last fall, her dinosaur soup recipe made with squash. Yes, she did. It was delicious. Heather wants to be done, but it's never done. No, it's never done. Never, ever done. I'll tell you what, guys, instead of me messaging anybody, what I'll do is I will share out Blue's recipe on my, what do they call it, community page. I'll post it on YouTube. How about that? I will share it out. So Robin, all you guys asking, I will share out Blue's pumpkin soup, and I will share out Barb's dinosaur soup. How about that? So don't even search for it. I'll share it out right after this live. Just give me like 10 minutes after the live. I'll have it out and you guys will be able to check it out and do it. But yes, it's never done. We had 2. You guys are welcome. No, my pleasure. There was one. I was trying to think. There was another soup recipe. I can't remember what it was. I don't know. Escaping the brain. Moving along, squirrel. I had the lists on the freezer. I talked about a few weeks back. I had the lists on the freezer and we've been crossing them off. And so we're down to, for the most part, we are down to projects that need money. Projects we're kind of avoiding, like making sure we had a really bad rain in the spring, which is not typical for us, right? So rain-related issues always throw us for a loop. Because we don't usually get a lot of rain. Oh, you're welcome, guys. No worries. We had a really heavy downpour with some heavy wind, and the coop showed some water. The coop itself is not leaking, but we think it was like a wind rain thing because the coop is never wet. But we think that maybe a board where the coop ends and the enclosed indoor run comes out, we think that that's where something went awry. So we're just going to seal that. Hi, Alfonso. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you went and played at the senior memory care facility. But yeah, so we're crossing things off the list, which is really exciting. And I've got a bunch more to add there, but it feels good to have some things done. I'm sorry to hear that, Alfonso. I hope that they find somebody. Might be a good volunteer opportunity for you, though, just to go visit if they don't have an activity director. So what are you guys stocking up your pantries with? Do tell. Or your freezers or whatever. I know you guys talked about, some people said what they stocked up on. Some people said what they're going to stock up on. Is there anything that you feel like you're missing because maybe it didn't do well this year for you? I know for us, the peppers did not do well. I ended up making pepper powder, but it seems like the pantry always has to get shifted around and so on. Refrigerated pickled pickles and jalapenos. Nice. Barb's got all kinds of peppers. Peppers seem to love Barb's gardens, I tell you. It's crazy. We've been trying to get caught up on other stuff here as well, but the things I want to do, I have to wait on. So, kind of bummed. Ooh, Heather's been seed collecting a lot. Good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. I'm going to be collecting some calendula seeds. Gwen says, just remind your kids and grandkids not to mix cleaning products that can be deadly. Yes, it can. Bleach and vinegar are two things not to mix, or bleach and ammonia not to mix. And if you're doing lye in the house for soap, try to do it outside. But if you do it in the house, make sure you have windows open, because I do remember a friend of mine had the window closed and did lye in the house. And when the lye in the water reacted, they had a not as severe as Gwen's husband's cousin, but still caused a lot of issues in the lungs. Blue said, this week it'll be veg to make into fast side dishes like carrot and parsnips in stock, or carrot and Swedes in stock. The stock being able to be used in the gravy and the veg being used for mash. Awesome. I'm sorry to hear that, Alfonso. Barb dehydrated a bunch of peppers. Too busy right now for videos. Her countertops are clearing up from all of our harvesting. Wow. You're still going strong down there. That's pretty cool. Drop said it rained too much for the peppers this year. Yes, wear eye safety. Have a good weekend, about 6 acres. Thanks for being here. Hi, Uncle Al. Good to see you. Drop said, I'm going to cut a lot of thyme, rosemary, and oregano and basil soon. That's awesome. Thank you, Uncle Al. I appreciate it. No worries, Barb. No worries. I've got to do some parsley and I've got some oregano. That's about all I've got left out there. That will be done. The basil, I cut what I could, and we'll see. Robin said, this is the first year my peppers did horrible. The groundhog didn't help. Oh, I bet not. And it's funny you mentioned a groundhog. We've had a marmot. Stinker. We have to add some things to the list to take care of because of the marmot. They're herbivores, so they don't bother anything per se, but they like to dig holes under buildings. So we have to fix holes where they dug. Blue said, because we love a roast dinner, but the work honestly is too much for one meal when it's just two of us. So the more I can do, so just grab and go works. Yep. That's what I always say. Good food made convenient. Good food made convenient. That's what I love. Yes, I know. I know, Barb. We usually get one or two, and then they kind of go away, if you know what I mean. C4 dummies, like they had in Caddyshack for the Marmot. Like I said, Spartman, they kind of just all of a sudden go away. When we cook a roast, we eat on it all week, sandwiches and burritos. Yep, that's what we do. That's what we do. Drop says he's got a big fat one here. Might be Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at our pheasants, all four of them that we have left. And it's like, I think we're going to wait until October to butcher them because it's just, there's no reason to rush. There's only four of them. It's not going to take us long at all. Once the feathers get off them, we can bring them inside and finish the rest. Whereas if we were doing 20 something of them, it'd be a little different. But yeah, it's just so good to have all that good food that you put away and you have on hand, and you can just bring it out and feed your family. Really good stuff. That's what's really exciting about stuff like that. That's what I love about having the pantry, because you can always find something to eat. So I know that canning book that I bought has meals in a jar, canning meals in a jar. So one of the things we're going to do is, I think there's stew in there, like an Irish stew. Um, Barb made a huge pot of chili tonight, so that's something we'll probably can as chili. Um, there was something else in there. It was like a pot roast meal you can put in there. So I think we're going to try some of that. So that'll be exciting. Tastes like groundhog. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had groundhog. The weirdest thing about the marmots that always amazes me is their hands. It's like they look like they have human hands. It's so weird. Obviously, I don't not the same amount of fingers, but they just look like they've got hands. The leaves are starting to fall from our trees, and John saves them for his compost. That's awesome. Blue said, we're looking at what is in tins we buy and working towards replacing them with what we make. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys are doing a great job. Ooh, pizza sounds good, Uncle Al. Pizza sounds good. Gwen says our leaves are starting to fall too. Not a lot, but some. The annual dead pine needles have begun to fall with the storm we had the other night. So I don't know for you guys who live in areas that have leaves that fall, you ever notice that you have like a storm that comes by and knocks all the dead leaves off the trees every year? We have one that knocks pine needles off the trees. Me too. If I don't feel like cooking, it's already done on the shelf or freezer. Smart. So smart, Robin. It just makes life so much easier. So great. Drops has enough food to feed himself over 10 years and seeds enough to provide a city of 50K with victory gardens. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'll admit, I don't have that many seeds. I've got a lot of food, but I don't have a lot of seeds. We used to go grocery shopping like once a month, and now it's like every few months. So, oh, thanks for asking, Robin. It is, believe it or not, it is looking much better. It is, I can't believe it. But here's the funny part. You can't see it on there, but I've got it's a big dip. I took a chunk out, but it's healing, and I've been putting liquid bandage on it. So thank you for asking. It's much better. I can't believe how quick it healed, because I don't usually heal quick. So that was crazy. But yeah, it's pretty funny. I have a dip in my finger. You can't really see it. I'll have to see if I can get a picture of it. You see the dent? It's a dent. It's crazy. Like if I look, oh, it's hard to tell. You see it there? It's so crazy. But it's healing, so thank you. I am doing good, Uncle Al. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It is so much better. Wild rice and cottage cheese. I eat a lot of cottage cheese, so that's good. Wild rice, not so much. I do like wild rice though. But yeah, it's much better. I'm just amazed how fast it's sore. It's very sore, but I've tried to keep it open. But I think what helped was I had antibiotic ointment on it for like a week and a half, and I would wear gloves over it. So I think that really got it to heal pretty quick compared to other stuff. Oh, no Band-Aid is the bomb. I know it. Band-Aids are annoying, and then I was wearing latex gloves every day. Oh, it was so annoying. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate you asking. But yeah, other than that, we're keeping busy. We're keeping busy. I will no longer be using the mandolin unless I use a cut-proof glove, or I'm going to pull out my food processor from now on because that's just I don't have time for that crap. It doesn't matter how careful I am. I just do not do well with them stupid things. But anybody else have anything they want to share? I can see it, LOL. Yeah, I know. No mandolin for Barb either. Smart, smart. And I only use it for that stupid zucchini recipe that I love. Chainmail gloves are the best cause mandolins and slicers are the worst. Yes, I have a cut-proof glove, which is a chainmail glove for butchering chickens, and that's what I usually use. But when I was filming my video, I forgot to put it on. Oh, thank you, Joe. Hello, Joe. Hope you're doing well. Yes, thank you. It is better. Uncle Al says my family gets nervous when I make sausages or mystery meat nuggets. Yeah, I can understand why, Uncle Al. Drop says next year I'm growing chickweed and King Henry. What are you growing chickweed for? I'm curious. I have chickweed everywhere, and it's a pain in the neck. Your husband got you the cut-proof gloves because he knows me. Good deal, Robin. Praying all goes well, Gwen, with your well. I know that that will be peace of mind once that is done tomorrow morning. Oh, chickweed is a medicinal food. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I have the wild stuff. It grows in my greenhouse. I'm not much of a forager, I will admit. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to get going. Thanks for coming to chat with us this evening, chat with me. It was good to talk with all of you. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I don't know, hopefully we'll get a few videos out on some things. I was going to share some things about the pigs and stuff. And hopefully we'll get that done. All right, you guys, have a great weekend. Good to see y'all. Take care.